What's up? This is Kong from X-Faders, and in this video we're going to focus on the top 5 advanced features or settings for the DDJ SZ2. The following settings can be found in the manual on pages 27 to 29, so if you need to refer back specifically to the manual, feel free to do so. The topics I'll be covering in this video are to include launching the utility mode, the talkover function, the talkover function level, the crossfader lag, as well as the booth monitor and the jog wheel brightness. Another setting that you may find interesting is the channel fader start. I did a separate video on how to use it as well as to make adjustments to those settings, so check out the video here in the top right corner of your screen. Before we actually get started, we need to place the DDJ SZ2 in the utility mode. You can do this by removing the USB cable and powering the device off. While off, you need to hold the play button and the shift button and power the device on while continuing to hold those two buttons. Let's start off by covering the talkover function. There's two separate modes, advanced and normal. By default, the controller is already set into advanced mode. In advanced mode, the musical content is lowered down, so the volume is lowered down so that the microphone resides on top. In the normal mode, the mid-range section of your musical content has been lowered and therefore replaced by the microphone. There's no right or wrong setting for this, so I encourage you to listen to your voice as you activate either one and see which one works best for you. To adjust this setting, you simply have to hit the key button, so that key down button on the left deck. So when the button is lit, it's actually in advanced mode, and when it's turned off, it's in normal mode. Tip number 2 is a follow-up on number 1. So this is a setting that allows you to change the talkover function level. So the attenuated level can be changed by -6 dB, -12 dB, -18 dB, and -24. -18 being the default. It's hard to tell from the video, but the third hot cue is actually lit. It's lit up blue, so when you do press each one of these buttons, you'll see it switch over to that. So the default setting at -18 dB is pretty good for me, so it at least gives you the option to increase the volume or lower it by one more step. Let me start off by saying tip 3 is actually my favorite. It gives you the opportunity to adjust the crossfader lag. So outside of turning the dial in the front of a controller to adjust the crossover point as far as sharpness, this will allow you to adjust the length or the distance between the on-off portion of the crossfader. To better explain that, I would say that once the crossfader is closed in either direction, the distance that it takes before you hear any audio presence would be considered the cut lag. This setting is actually controlled by the browse or scroll wheel at the top of the left deck. So the silver knob that you see at the top of the left deck on the right will actually adjust the crossfader cut lag. As you rotate the wheel, the lights will light up on channel 1 and 3. Make sure you test out this setting completely. You may have to do a little bit of trial and error to find that perfect spot for your crossfader lag, but when you do have it, I'm pretty sure everything will be fine and you shouldn't have to change this often. Next up is setting the mic output of the booth monitor. So just in case if you needed a clean booth monitor, no extra content, no microphone, nothing like that, you can actually change that setting from here. So by default, the output for the microphone is set to go to the booth. But if you hit the back view button on the left deck, you can remove the microphone contents from the booth monitor. The last tip is for anyone who feels that the jog ring is distracting. What this allows you to do is to dim the brightness or turn it off completely. By default, it's set to the brightest setting. So by tapping the capacitive touch pad, you'll be able to adjust the setting. So it goes from bright to low to off. This setting actually makes a change on both jog wheels, so it doesn't allow any independent brightness on either jog wheel. Once you're done with your configuration, you can power off the controller and plug in the USB cable and power the controller back on to test out your settings. And that's pretty much it. Let me know which settings or configurations you found the most helpful, and don't forget to check out the video for the channel fader start. So I hope this video was helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date on all new content. Peace.